Hello, everyone. I'm Wendy Liebmann, CEO and Chief Shopper of WSL Strategic Retail, and this is Future Shop. This is where I talk to innovators, disruptors, and iconoclasts about the future of retail. Today, I'm going to talk to somebody who's just about to disrupt the beauty landscape one more time. So she fits in that iconoclast disruptor mode. She is Liza Rapay. Liza is the Vice President of Cosmoprof, Head of North America, and founder of Beauty New York, which we'll talk about in a minute. So let's begin. Hello, Liza. Lovely to have you here.
Hi, Wendy. Lovely to see you again.
Before we get started today, don't forget, please subscribe to this podcast. Just a great way for us to know you're there. Obviously good for our KPIs. Go to our website, go to Spotify, go to Apple, wherever you get your podcasts, we're there. And just click subscribe, no cost to you. And we just know you're in the house, which is good for us. So thank you for that. And now on to the interview. For those of you who don't know Liza, you probably know Cosmoprof. If you're not in the beauty space, you may not. But Cosmoprof, and I'm going to give you the short version, Liza will fill you in, as I've known it over the years, is the platform, the place where the beauty community around the world comes together. I first knew Cosmoprof in its initial permutation, I guess, out of Bologna, which is the most extraordinary beauty show. And over the years, that has evolved into Beauty in Las Vegas, Beauty in Miami, and soon, of course, this amazing event in New York that Liza will talk about. But anyway, so Liza, just tell us in a bit more detail what Cosmoprof is all about and what the North American current proposition for Cosmoprof is and how you bring everybody together.
Thank you, Wendy. So Cosmoprof, I think you summed it up quite nicely, Wendy. It is the platform that connects the entire industry ecosystem, the brands, the retailers, suppliers, distributors, innovators. For me, when I look at Cosmoprof, the trade show, especially North America, this platform, many of these new brands entering the US market, this is the place for them to be. This is the place for them to be found out. This is potentially you're going to be the next it brand. And I think the very important aspect of all this is that we know that in this market, innovation comes from a lot of the indie brands. That's all of the newness is starting to permeate, right? And when you look at the overall total US business, they represent close to a third of that in terms of dollar contribution. So it's huge.
Yeah. And the thing that's so dynamic about it, if you have not been to Cosmoprof, Las Vegas and Miami is what, 2 years old? Miami
is
coming up 3. Yeah. Is that it feels like it's the sort of incubation, the incubator, the pot of all the things that are new, just not in the US, but brands from around the world come to Las Vegas. But in addition to that sort of amazing floor show that sounds like a floor show of Las Vegas, right? High kicks of beauty. But as you walk around, it's that, but it's also the other things that you do that, we get involved in, either a retail safari that we did in Miami, where we bring people together to look at innovative retail. But the other piece is the education sessions, which, we're often, and again, this year, part of. And so it's also the education and the quality. Clearly, I'm preaching to the converted, but the quality of it's the big companies coming to see the emerging brands. It's the research and insights people like ourselves who come to hear and learn and contribute. It feels like it's, as you said, this ecosystem of beauty, which in this world where there's so much going on and so many events to go to, this always feels to me like it just has this intimacy and future view that's really exciting. But why am I telling you that? You know that already.
No, thank you, Wendy. I mean, to me, I think I'm very blessed to be in this position because I also come from the brand side.
Right. Yeah.
Not originally, I didn't grow up in this, trade show business. But when you look at this, when I came into this, I looked at it on a lens of if I'm a brand, what matters to me most. And I think that has sort of changed in terms of content, the speakers, and a lot of it is based on, to be quite honest, relationships. And you know this well, Wendy. in our industry, we remember many, many things for a long, long, long time. So a piece of advice, I think it's really important, especially in this industry, to be your authentic self and nurture relationships. And Cosmoprof does this with the retailers, the buyers, the distributors, the press, and the media, market research firms such as you, Wendy. That's what Cosmoprof is. And you mentioned a little bit Miami earlier. So Miami is 2 years old. And I think, when we first launched Miami, there were questions of, is it going to cannibalize Las Vegas? But it really just now organically formed itself into this Miami services all of most of the Latin American markets, entering the US space. Europe, it's so easy for them to just come to Miami. And of course, the East Coast. And you see this when you compare it with Las Vegas, it's really just expanding the market reach.
Yeah. And I think what was so interesting about that, and those of you who listen to the podcast will remember, we had the amazing Claudia Laredo on from Blush Bar in Latin America, from Colombia and Mexico, somewhere else, Chile, I think. And I first heard her speak at Cosmoprof and was absolutely taken by her passion. And it was so exciting to hear somebody with this unique point of view as a retailer. And I said to her, would you come on the podcast? And she did. And she was just wonderful. And so that's the other part of it, right? It's this ability to bring us all together in a unique way. And before we talk about your newest venture, which I'm sure is taking a lot of your brain power these days, talk a little bit about beauty at large. I mean, you see it, you're experts in it. You just sponsored FIT's capstone master's program in cosmetics and fragrance marketing, of which you and I are both on the board. That the industry is changing so much, it's so dynamic. I thought about it a lot recently because of the death of Leonard Lauder, who was for so many an icon and generationally influenced so many. How do you think about the beauty business today and some of the trends that you're seeing?
So, Wendy, I think you're going to age us both a little, but that's okay. When I started in this beauty business, I started at Clinique many moons ago, almost 2 decades. When you compare beauty then to beauty now, there were only a few big players in the industry, right? And the trends cascaded from the global headquarters and then to each of the regionals and markets, right? Now, it's that reverse funnel. If you think about it, it's driven by, again, the emerging brands, indie founders, the consumers themselves on platforms like TikTok, which is really driving that massive change as well. When you look at beauty now, it's very hyper personalized, right? And it's still continuing to go to that direction. It's also culturally rooted. The consumers expect transparency, speed, and that whole purpose piece. It's not just launching a product. These brands really need to stand for something bigger.
Yeah, it is extraordinary. And I think that is the thinking about, Leonard Lauder again, this notion about the lipstick index, that whole notion of beauty as a sustaining business in good times and bads, and whether it evolves into fragrance, as we saw during COVID, skincare, body care, sun care, health and wellness, which of course is the other piece, as well as color, which is clearly important to me, color cosmetics. I think about the expansion of beauty, but the extraordinary, resiliency, I suppose, in many ways, for new, innovative and new products and content. So I think that's the thing that's so powerful, not just about what you're doing, but also what we heard from the capstone class of 2025, and some of the conversations that they had there, the medicalization of, of beauty, the impact of AI, all of these things, and the shifting and growth of beauty in different ways.
Yes. I think it's when you look at what's happening, I can't release it yet, but I'm so excited to showcase the trends every year. Partner with Beauty Streams. They literally look at everything that we're offering and create these, put them into like different trends. The trends are it's fascinating. So you'll see them in Las Vegas, and after Vegas, the ones who, even if you don't make it, we usually release them out to the market.
Then I think about the Circana and the Nielsen IQ and all the other workshop sessions. So there's just tremendous learning. I must say, for our team, we always come away with our heads bubbling with new thoughts. When I think also about all the places I can buy beauty today as a consumer, as a shopper, I know on our panel, we're focusing on how America shops in chaos and some new research we're doing out of our How America Shops work. And again, looking at it through that lens. And then we have thank you, on my panel, CVS, Ulta, and I know, and beauty space, these three different dimensions of where people are going for beauty and how they're going to be talking about how shoppers think about value and values, to your point. And I think that's also, there's a lot of richness in that conversation.
Wendy, we need to also, for Cosmoprof, be relevant. Everything that we do, our lens is, are we servicing the industry? We need to make sure that sometimes we're even thinking ahead. And the beauty of Cosmoprof, to your point, Wendy, you could go there and do a market research. You don't have to fly around the globe because we have all of these brands coming into Cosmoprof for 3 days. I think one of the things that we do is to make sure that we're designing Cosmoprof to reflect the fragmented landscape. That's what's happening now. We are tirelessly researching what are the new retailers popping up, either be a pop-up, an online shop, or if it's a retail that's specific for a type of offering. For instance, we are bringing many Korean retailers, many retailers, because of, again, the trends and the consumer demands that they need to service. A lot of it is considering the ecosystem and connecting it, making sure that it isn't about the sales. It's really about the strategic growth of the industry.
Yeah. And I know our friend AJ from
Yes.
TikTok Shop will be there, that other place that people access beauty, not just to listen and learn, but also now to shop. And the implications for that are pretty amazing. I think you said that Walmart Marketplace is there. So, I mean, luxury, mass, digital, all of these places in this fragmented beauty world. And beauty, continues to lead the way in so many things here. I think we work, as you know, across lots of categories. Beauty we're very passionate about, but we work across health and food and beverage and pets and whatever, luxury and mass, digital. But beauty seems generationally to push forward in many of these areas, often first. So let's jump to October. So you've got a whole other thing going on here, Beauty New York. Tell us a bit about Beauty New York.
Okay, here's the big moment. In the US, we don't have anything or a platform like a fashion week. So beauty, we all have very, segmented, everyone's doing their own thing. There are some events. And I've realized through the many years that we love getting together. That is true. In any events that I go to especially after COVID, that sort of touch and that, you can't really just get that with all of this digital video communication. It's very different. So Beauty New York, if I have to simply explain it, it's Fashion Week for beauty. Beauty New York and it has to be in New York because this city, when I look at even in last year, in 2024, entire beauty grew by 3%. New York City alone grew at 5%. New York City is the epitome of what beauty is. It's the birthplace of modern beauty, and it's home to many of these corporate brands. And I started thinking of what can we do to continue to support this industry. Wendy, I always think back of Fashion Week versus beauty, New York. Beauty is so inclusive and it is also accessible. So when I started thinking about Beauty New York, it's almost like flipped. The stage belongs to the consumer. And in order for all of us to rise, we need to make sure that we're putting the consumers first. So this fall, we are launching this event specifically for that. It is not about one brand. It is not about one retailer. It is not about a prestige brand and I can't be with a mass brand, but it's truly serving up what the consumers are looking for. We have an embargo, so I can't officially say where the location is, but I'm just going to hint that it's a very iconic location downtown.
Yes.
And that is what Beauty New York is. And one of the things I don't want to forget is that we have two sort of tracks, Wendy, we have two tracks for the master classes. I'm sure you've attended other beauty events before that offered master class. So for us and for me, it was important that we are following what the North Star is of Beauty New York. It is to continue to lift the industry. So there's two tracks to the master class. The first one is artistry. We know that the consumers love it. Think about a makeup artist teaching. But the other piece of this is pulling the curtain back, letting these consumers see what is behind beauty. All of these younger generations who are so in love with this industry, we're going to be talking about careers in beauty. How do we tell these stories? For instance, we are now officially have partnered with Seed, and they're going to bring about careers in beauty conversations. And then same track to that, we might have an entrepreneur type of conversations.
So this is, you said the fall. Can you
Yes,
talk dates or not yet?
I can talk dates. So
Okay, tell us the date.
yes, so October 16. I hope you're in town, Wendy. I think you are because we've discussed this before.
Yes.
October 16 is the kickoff launch party for the event. It is for the industry only. And during that time, we will also be awarding a few honorees for impact, either a brand or a corporation or a person who has made an impact in the community or in the industry. So that's the first night, October 16. October 17 and 18, which is a Friday and Saturday, is when we open it up to the public. It's ticketed event. It's going to be purely experiential. And we are already talking to many brands to make sure that this comes to life in a way that will be, number one, it kicks off the holiday selling. It's important for the brands to touch the consumers directly. We're also working with retailers, Wendy, so that for the entire week, think of it as Fashion Week, we'll be driving consumers to whichever of the retailers. They will have something special that they will be doing for the beauty consumers throughout.
So in the event itself, will people be able to sample, try, learn beyond the master classes, that whole array of all the brands and categories and everything that are there? Is that the sort of show and tell play?
Yes. So it's purely experiential. You can discover some new brands or discover brands that you've never even heard of before, and, reconnect with the brands that you forgot you loved so much in the past. It's purely, again, experiential. And I think that's the beauty of this. When I think back about my clinic days and, the Lauder days, I remember it is always said, you just touch the consumer first and you're halfway there.
Yeah. And, it reminds me, in Australia, Fashion Week there has the business to business piece to it, but it also has the consumer piece to it. It's in Melbourne, throughout the city, the retailers, the consumers experience and have the opportunity to be part of this amazing offer. And and there's the business session. I spoke at it where, you have leaders in the community talk to the industry and to students, like the FIT equivalent. And so those dimensions have always been really interesting to me, both in fashion and beauty. And it always struck me that never existed here in the beauty space, that integration of the consumer and the industry, particularly now as consumers are really so engaged as driving their own perspective. And it's not just, as you said, few big companies, few big media propositions pushing it down. Now we have the whole community of beauty aficionados and others, driving so much change. So this is extraordinary.
I have to share this. And I think this is really exciting for us beauty insiders, because we have opened our portal for people can buy the tickets to the event.
Already?
Already. Silent. We haven't quite pushed it out yet. And we are all incredibly I am obsessively refreshing my screen because of the demand for ticket. It's pretty incredible. And we haven't even we are investing a huge amount of, dollars and our, blood, sweat and tears, taxi cab, topper.
Yeah.
New York City, painting the city pink. We haven't even done that. That's all planned in September.
Right.
But the ticket sales, the demand for the consumers is pretty fascinating.
Yeah. The other thing that strikes me, I was thinking, because, you talking about iconic spaces where you're going to do this. The other thing that struck me of late in the art community, art world, is all of these experiences, immersive experiences that you can, as a consumer, somebody who loves art, walk into these days, whether it's, Van Gogh bringing things to life, whatever it is. And it struck me as you were describing that, I was thinking, wow, this is that sort of, I'm going to sort of walk into the world of beauty on all aspects, from experiencing the product to understanding the industry, the community, how I might grow and work in it, and or just buy and wear it, kind of thing. So it's really a powerful vision, which is amazing. And I also think, when I think about the shifts in beauty today, or beauty retailing as much as anything, where we've got, the tried and true retailers who are struggling to some degree, whether it's, our old world of kind of department stores and drugstores, and trying to find new ways to engage the consumer, that too feels like it's so timely in a world that's become so digital and misses that experiential piece. So it's really exciting. Walking away in November as you scrape yourself off the ground and get ready to, I don't know, make Thanksgiving dinner or something. That was a conversation I was having with somebody today. I was like, oh my God, don't talk to me about November. I could stab myself. But when you think, are there one or two things that you want to achieve out of this?
Honestly, when I think about this, first and foremost, did we make the consumers get excited again? Are we relevant? Is beauty relevant? How are we helping? Again, the positioning for Beauty New York is to lift the entire industry forward, to continue to build and use this platform to help the industry. I think, to me, I'm excited, and not just the number of people, number of, the brands who are there, but I'm also looking at it from, how did it lift the industry? I'm a numbers person. So I would like to, we're talking to Macy's, for instance, we're talking to Nordstrom, but I used to help run the Clinique business at Macy's. So I know exactly how weekly sales are planned. I'd love to see incrementals on each. What did this event do to each of these retailers and to beauty in general, especially in New York City?
Yeah. And I do think timing is great for that, because as we come to the holiday, also, even if beauty is resilient, as people get nervous about their spending, the need for us to create that level of urgency and excitement and relevance, to your point, and then to lead into a really strong holiday season. So those sort of things to me seem really, really important now for the year end, as well as, what does 2026 look like? So really, really exciting. So I'm delighted. I'm excited for October, excited for July. Thank you for inviting my team back again to July. So my last question to most of my guests is, what's your favorite place, or anything?
Sure. And I think as you asked me this question, I have to think, do I have a favorite, or it depends on what my mood is? A lot of it is that. And I think a lot of the consumer sentiment follows that same sort of logic. But if I have a favorite place to shop, it's the small grocery store near my apartment. It's called A Matter of Health. I think it's convenient. They have healthy options that I'm looking for. And it feels like the assortment is made and specially curated for me. I know it's not, but that's how they make me feel. And that's why I feel like I love going there. So
that's really It's always a pleasure to see you in the halls at our various board meetings, et cetera, et cetera. And we're all really excited about Las Vegas. And we've got more of our team coming this year, so that's going to be even more exciting. So How America Shops in Chaos will be buying lots of beauty.
So excited. And thank you, Wendy. I think, I'm going to say this to all of the listeners. I am so excited to see this presentation. Wendy, do you remember that presentation you did in, I don't know, 2008? Because I remember
Yes, aging us,
that.
aging us. Yeah, I do remember when I was asked to kick off something. It was a Women's Wear Daily event, not quite 2 weeks after the world ended. We need you for 8 minutes to tell us how America shops in crisis. And I was like, oh, this is depressing.
Fair.
So this will be slightly more uplifting. Always a pleasure. Great to see you. Very excited about October, and we will see you in the future. So, I think it's really clear from what Liza said that this is a very exciting time. Cosmoprof has been around for a very long time, from the Bologna days now through Las Vegas and Miami, and this vision to bring the consumer with the industry together in New York, to really showcase and embrace the value of beauty and inspire people to buy again in these challenging times and as a lead up to the holiday season. It's a very powerful story. I think we all understand that if we don't get the consumer to shop and buy our goods and services, then the world is very challenged. And in these times of chaos, we need to do more and more of that. So to Cosmoprof and Liza and team's credit, this Beauty New York is going to be a very powerful couple of days where the industry can come together with the consumer, the shopper, lots of learning, lots of influence, lots of power in that discussion. And for those of you who are going to Las Vegas, see you in Las Vegas. For those of you who are not, hopefully we'll see you in New York and see the future of beauty. See you soon. Cheers for now.